I don't think it's impacted at all. I think I've got way better mechanics now, and I think it's changed my mindset because I'm just going to be going for freestyle shots. That's just about it.
Actually, I might be a little bit. I just don't want to be, you know, destroyed like CJ was in the past by a freestyler in one of these SMUG matches. That wouldn't be fun.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think I have this. I played Firewall back in 2018. I won him that time. I think I'm going to win again.
I remember that like on that show match, I was kind of lagging a little bit. It's sad that like OSM doesn't remember the day that I played against him on his stream where I had good ping. I'm pretty sure that if I don't get like 150 plus ping, I can confidently take him. That is my game. According to some of my spies, apparently OSM is probably going to be getting like a higher ping than me. If you have seen like the past SMUG matches, the last time that I played against somebody that had a higher ping than me, didn't even like get the chance to play against me. So I'm just looking forward to this.
What? Oh my goodness. No way, really? That makes sense. There was a person the other day that added me on Steam called Not a Spy. And we played twos together the entire time.
I don't know, maybe pay an editor to like edit the clips of me clipping on OSM.
I'm gonna do the exact same thing as I did last time and donate all the money to my team called PostClan. That will help us quite a bit with making YouTube content.
So they've played once before, but this one is the one that truly matters. OSM against Firewall, or as he is going by in-game, Firewall. We will be seeing who can take this best of 5 between the two. And Johnny both split on who we expect to be taking it, and this is my guy right here. Firewall up by 1.
Yeah, your guy looking pretty good from the start here. OSM. What on earth are you doing going for the boost there, my friend? That's not the play. Firewall never going to miss from that range. 1-0 already. He can't have been expecting it to be that easy, though. And I don't think it's going to continue to be that easy.
Well, OSM definitely with a bit of a misplay there. Those tend to get ironed out as we do go along. Firewall realizing that's probably not the one for him just yet. So stick around.
Oh. Almost a turtle set up for the air dribble there. I think OSM would have gone for this. He's still got the resets anyway. Oh, what a shot by OSM. Firewall's landed on the boost, though, after it gets saved by the bar.
Now already up. Firewall wants his own version. Goes for the low challenge off the air dribble. Breakneck pace here. This is supposed to be a content creator matchup. Instead, both of these two probably go each other. Firewall, great recovery onto the wall.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Just kind of pre-flipping to get a solid landing. Oh my goodness,
He's
Firewall looks great! That's unreal. Just the smoothest movement in the midfield into the top corner aerial shot. I mean, that's fair enough to not save that one. First goal, bit of an OSM misplay, but it's all Firewall in goal 2.
Firewall's doing a great job of like keeping his eye away from the ball. You know, he's seeing where OSM's positioning himself. You know he would typically like to try and control that, set himself up for something. But the moment he spotted OSM coming a bit far forward, he decided, all right, I'm going to let this drop, take it myself. Waiting for a challenge this time. OSM, he's trying to get himself going here. Over to the wall. That 100 boost comes crucial, but so does having a car. No point in having the fuel if it's just going to be used to get rid of ya.
Yeah, OSM was so close to getting away there. Didn't manage to. Look at the aerial defense by both players, though. It's continuing to be absolutely solid. And now OSM gets his first goal of the game. And I do wonder, will Firewall be afraid of attacking OSM in the air after this one?
I think he'll very much put that one down to a misplay on his own part, not quite knowing, you know, what to do with it, and not setting up the way I think he would expect himself to be able to. But this gameplay has very much followed in the footsteps of their interview. This is confidence from both of these players. Don't need to say it aloud that they're better than the other. They just want to show it. As that Firewall wants to get the move. He's managed to get it to start with. Between each other, Firewall up to the wall. So not deterred just yet. Needs to hook himself back around, though. And OSM straight over to meet him.
Yeah, I think that answers the question. Firewall not deterred after the initial aerial save and counterattack from OSM. Still, just going at OSM from whatever angle is most comfortable at the time. OSM might have him here. It's almost in, it is now! Firewall with an unfortunate own goal. And that was off just a little bit of a pit maneuver there. OSM clips Firewall, and right from that moment, he wasn't really sure if he wanted to go for this or not. Ends up own goaling, but yeah, OSM with the forced error.
I think that's in no matter what. There was the way that bounced, because that came down off the crossbar.
Yeah.
So either way, he's either putting that in himself or he's flying away, and OSM's got it on the goal line to just tap in. But this way was funnier, so we appreciate that one, Firewall.
That's why we want content creators. That's why we have content creators in SMUG. They know how to make good content. They know not only how to score exciting goals, but also to get scored on in the most exciting ways possible. Although I think Firewall might have the most memorable goal in that category, with a pinch off his own post going into Randy's net in his first SMUG match. Well, which one of these guys is going to become a double SMUG champ? That's really the story today.
On that title of champ. Firewall. Oh, he's read the whole way there by OSM. Bounces down. Limited time to find a shot, and OSM didn't want to commit to it. Oh, instead, it is the cheekiest of touches. Bops it over the top of Firewall, up by 1.
Yeah, OSM just cut that a little bit more than Firewall was expecting. Firewall was completely committed to diving in on that challenge. Thought that OSM was going to play the first touch in a different direction. That's a great cut by OSM. Just getting more of a turn on it than Firewall was ready for, or what he was capable of reacting to. Comeback secured, lead secured for OSM. Still a good while left in the game though, so no need to panic for Firewall.
Yeah, OSM positioning very well on the ground now, not giving anything up. So they're just keeping that, constant pressure. Firewall just back in time. He's been chasing after boost for a while now. Should be able to reset himself. It's up to Firewall to play it. Voids the OSM demo, who does not want to leave. He is determined to stay in this side of the field, eventually forced off. Firewall, first flick attempt from him.
Wow.
And it is a forced save for OSM.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a great save as well. OSM landing perfectly on the back of his goal, so he can continue with full momentum straight into the second save. It's been great defense by both players for the most part. There have been a couple of mistakes with OSM boost grabbing at the wrong time. Firewall accidentally own goaling. I mean, was that really a position he could do anything in anyway, though? OSM's on a good little spree here. 4th goal in a row for him. He's starting to read Firewall's dribbling very, very well.
Yeah, so Firewall can't figure out what's a fake and what is real. Tell you what, when OSM's pelting at you at 200 kilometers an hour, I think that one might be real. Fake challenge there from Firewall. Over tries to set himself up. It's going to drop down perfectly for him. OSM. Well, he had a couple mistakes at the beginning, and it was just to try and prove that he was human before he would come through. And putting goals like this.
Yeah, it's just awesome by OSM. 5 goals in a row now. Firewall being shut out for a good long while. Still time. And like I said in the pre-match, this guy never gives up. He's put up some of the most ridiculous comebacks that we've ever seen in the history of 1v1 before. Not just in games, but in series score. It's got to start soon, because OSM's defense has been so solid towards the end of this game.
Yeah, this is just... He's got to figure out the timing of OSM, and it is going to take more than a game to do. If he can do it, we'll start to figure out what from there. What a recovery! 2 goals in it! 20 seconds left.
Oh, that's so well played by Firewall. Gets bumped, but he just stays calm, and he uses the dodge to secure that rebound. 3 goals now for Firewall. He's broken that deadlock. OSM was completely shutting him out. He's still got a good chance here. This is a great opportunity after the first kickoff.
Goes to the air once again. OSM challenges.
Oh my!
That's the nutmeg. 1 goal left. And Firewall explodes into the end of this game.
Never expect Firewall to be out of a game. It just doesn't happen. He doesn't know the meaning of giving up. He always finds a way, and this is absolutely a game he can win. And he's got a very good kickoff to start off with. It's not a kickoff goal, but it might as well be with how Firewall's approaching this. Reset secured, but OSM with a solid touch on it should be securing this one. There it is. What a game, Shogun. OSM holds on.
And just the ending to throw the doubt right back in there for everybody. OSM looked so in control, so crisp with the way he was playing. And then Firewall reminding us that if he gets a win on that kickoff, all bets are off. You are right there waiting to see what he can pull off. As for OSM, fair play. He did get beat by the late goal to try and make it 5-4. However, the vast majority of the times that Firewall went up, OSM read him. He got 3 good plays for OSM, 1 good play for Firewall.
Yeah, mechanically and positionally, OSM's defense was superior. He had one blip right at the start of the game where he grabbed a boost that he really shouldn't be grabbing. Apart from that, he was very impressive in defense. And you guys saw there in the post-score screen there, both of these guys are playing with 140, 144 ping, something in that region. So to make these reads in defense is very, very difficult. It's super impressive that they're able to be this solid while playing with the kind of connections they are. And just to answer the question I know a lot of people have been asking, this is on USE server, OSM connecting to the USE server from Iceland, Firewall from Brazil. They actually end up having almost identical ping, so it's quite a lucky little position that we've got there geographically.
Yep, there is quite literally 4 ping between them. There is not going to be any excuses for taking a loss here. Firewall again try to just fake out OSM, who of the two seems to have the better read on his opponent. Firewall, he tries to challenge early. OSM played for the block. Could have been going pretty much anywhere. Instead, OSM still on the hunt, pops it over. He's going to steal himself 100 boost, and Firewall just twists and turns that car to get it away.
Wow. Yeah, he's done so well here. That's some great defense by Firewall. First challenging early on an aerial play from OSM. I mean, you'd kind of have to do that because if OSM lands a flip reset, his next shot is going to be so hard to save, you don't really have a chance. So he manages to do that and then recovers and makes a couple of good clears with almost no boost available to him. Fantastic stuff by Firewall. Can he make anything happen in offense? You bet he can! Oh my goodness, the creativity of this guy. How does he find a way through from this angle?
Look at him. He just knows I've got that little dip in the wall that I can use. And he made sure he used it.
That's sick.
What a goal.
Absolutely sick play by Firewall. There's so many mind games in the air by these guys. And it's because the early challenges are just flying in. Every single aerial play is being blocked early, or at least it's being shadowed early. There's no standoff defensive play on the goal lines here. And that's forcing some mind games from the attacking players. And, both these guys have got mind games for days. In the mental battle, in terms of comebacks, I think Firewall comes out on top. But mentally, when it's all about mind games, it's a pretty dead even matchup.
Oh, OSM got him baited in. It's all up to the race now, and OSM is going to win it. 1 each. Not completely correct, though, about both of these players. They want to be as proactive as possible. I think especially when you are at 150 ping, whilst it is even, you don't want to be waiting on that goal line. You don't want that split second where you've got to now react to the play. So I'd expect this to stay the whole way through. Even if it stops working for either player, I think the alternative is just too bad for you to go with it.
Yeah, like I said, especially with these kind of connections, defense is so hard to play reactively. There you go.
There you go.
Example number 1. You don't save those because although we can see it on the spectator pretty much instantaneously, when Firewall, once he sees where this ball's going, it's already past him. So there's just no way to save those if he stands off on a flip reset play. But even if they were playing with 0 ping, I think OSM's going to score that most of the time. You've got to get in his face. Both these players, they can't just stand off each other. OSM starting to pile on the pressure now. That's 3-1. And this is getting away from Firewall. Once again, OSM in the mid-game on a bit of a scoring spree.
Yeah, for Firewall, this is where you've got to start. It's okay in game 1 where you're trying to figure out what your opponent's doing. You're trying to get their timing down. But this is the part of the series where the answers have got to start coming up now. OSM back over to the wall. You can already hear the jump. Firewall. He wanted some of that. He's already recovered to get himself back. That is the earliest challenge I have ever seen on a wall dribble.
Yeah, he made sure to do it before OSM could see him. So it was, purely the sound cue that made OSM go as high as possible with the ceiling shot. And you saw how quickly the recovery came in for Firewall. He wasn't really expecting the challenge to land. He's just trying to get back as quickly as he can. Well, he's got OSM on the wrong side of the ball here. Will he hit the target? Firewall slots it in the bottom right corner, and he's back within one.
Just trying to look from OSM's POV what he was doing here. I think he's just trying to... Maybe he thinks he's more in front of the goal than he actually is. Try to get a block. I'm not entirely sure.
Maybe reading more of a boost steal boost start as well. Firewall was disguising his boost total extremely well there. Goes for the early shot, and it's in. Firewall equalizes, and that was one of the easier comebacks for a player like him.
Yeah, that's not one that he's going to be holding on to as one of the greatest ones that he's done, but it is going to go down as one of the more necessary ones, especially with OSM playing the way he is. You can't afford, as good as Firewall is at making comebacks, you can't afford to drop 3 or 4 goals down, and Firewall making the same mistake that OSM did earlier on, which is your mind games are all good and all, but if your car is not between the ball and your net, things are fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, great read by OSM. He saw the weak touch there. Firewall's trying to get a bit of a heavier touch on the ball as he goes for the side boost, but the underhit means that OSM can beat him to it. Still, well played by OSM, read the position perfectly, and he's got his lead back. And he has been leading for the majority of this series, both the games we've had so far. Great control here by OSM. It's going to frustrate Firewall a little bit. It's the worst thing to see when you're already losing, the opponent dribbling the ball around in their half.
Every time I see that, there's just part of me that wants to see them own goal it.
I mean, that's feasible at our kind of rank. It's feasible. It's a likelihood in a lot of the games we play, but I mean, Firewall knows there's just no way. Oh, great bump. Has he got enough speed to get back to this? Yes, he does. Firewall's back in it once again. OSM letting his guard down as he retreats.
Just the full-on body block. That was harsh. Firewall, less of an octane and more of a snowplow getting rid of OSM.
I've been seeing a lot of those recently. Is it snowing down in England for you, Sugar? It's been it's pelting.
It's not snowed much, but it's stayed. Yeah. So we've had it now for like the last 4 days, despite the fact that I haven't seen any more snow fall. Almost broke my neck trying to go down to the shop the other day.
Firewall should be ahead here. Wow. Good job.
Yeah, Firewall was just as dangerous as the ice.
Yeah, there's no slip on that one. But he had to avoid the treacherous demo attempt from OSM. So that's brilliant awareness by Firewall. And ahead by 1 with just over a minute to play. I'm already predicting the comments, Shogun. Now that we've mentioned snow, people are going to be like, what, 3 inches of snow in Scotland? I have 30 inches of snow every day outside my door. Yes, guys, I get it. You guys are all from Antarctica, but just let us have our one snowy day in Scotland a year or week sometimes. Let us enjoy it. The entire country comes to a standstill.
What we're saying here is Leaf, stop typing.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, Leaf, stop typing. But
it's not the snow. The snow is not the dangerous bit. It's the ice afterwards. Snow has got some grip. Ice doesn't.
And just, the antithesis of his name here, Firewall cold as ice right now. As usual. It's fantastic to see him in such great form. He always talks himself down. When I offered him SMUG matches, he's saying, I don't know, man. Been playing pretty badly recently, but there's zero evidence of that in his SMUG match against Rani. None of it here today. Look at him go. Confident in any position, but OSM, likewise, looking for the comeback.
OSM, he needs to try and put one in, and he's got it! Firewall has an argument with the post. The post, as always, wins. OSM, however, there is no argument when he's up in that position. He is always going to put something forwards.
Now we've really got a game. OSM would love to get a kickoff possession play. He's got enough time to, wait for a shot. Goes for a very cheeky kickoff, actually. And the second delayed kickoff, that hasn't worked for him, but he does get the save. OSM still in this by 1.
Firewall over in the corner. He's going to probably try and play this one back instead. Turns himself around, and he's caught OSM out.
Clean.
Saw the ball come back to him, and he was never missing.
Yeah, very clean play there by Firewall. Little power slide turn on the sidewall into the wave dash to beat OSM to the punch. And with a quick turnaround like that, I don't think OSM's got any other chance other than a kickoff goal here. But he's going to go for it, just a standard approach. I'll tell you what, you might actually get one here. No, not enough boost. Firewall beats him to the second ball. And that should be game. OSM needs to score right now.
He's going to go for it, aims for the car, and Firewall forced to delay.
Okay.
5 seconds left, and we have seen OSM get some stuff off the kickoff.
I like that from Firewall. He almost had this. That was a good try. He actually had a bit more wiggle room to go further into his goal there, which would have resulted in a save. He's got to play this one carefully from here. And he's got a great kickoff to work with. Plays the ball up high to waste all the remaining time. And now his goal is the entire floor. Firewall just needs to get it down. OSM does it for him. And we have a tie series.
All right, Johnny. So we're one each. We both predicted either way here.
Yeah.
Still feeling confident in yours?
This is really, really tough. It's such a close matchup. But yeah, I think for now, I'll say I think OSM's got this still. Overall, his positioning has been really great. And, you know, Firewall adapted a little bit there. He had a lot of tricks. He had a lot of moves that caught OSM off guard. But now that OSM has seen those, I really don't think he's going to be caught out of position in those, you know, little awkward spots as often as he was here. You know, in those awkward positions, Firewall looked really, really good. He had the bursts of speed were what caught OSM off in this game.
Look, what you're saying he's seen the tricks, okay? It's called a trick book for a reason. That was page 1. There's still another 112 pages in this book. Firewall has got plenty to go there. I will say, though, what scares me most about OSM is just the little movements, the ones that you just... It's very difficult to keep an eye on him off the ball, and you have to, because if he does that little turn in, you know, maybe head back when you're not quite expecting it, it can just force the wrong touch there from Firewall and open everything back up for him. So for Firewall, part of it is going to be making sure, hey, okay, I know where I am between myself and the ball, but he's also got to keep, you know, more of an eye on OSM than you would against most opponents.
One thing that has been working really well for Firewall, though, is the kickoff game. I mean, OSM's tried to throw in some curveballs. He's gone for some delayed approaches multiple times, and none of them have worked. Firewall's kickoff is just solid enough that it's doing well against standard kickoff play from OSM, and it's also doing well against his more tricky kickoffs. And that's a great place to be in when you're just the standard kickoff does well against more than one of what your opponent's doing.
No
you're
way.
not going to do well against that, though. Oh my days, OSM sends a flick way over Firewall, not even close.
He went around the world before he went for that.
Wow.
Firewall, yeah. All right, well, for the first time ever, we have no criticisms about Firewall. The only criticism was giving OSM the ball.
Yeah, and it's about all that space again. You know, you can't give OSM that space on flip resets, and likewise flicks. If you stand off and try and shadow defend a flick like this, you're never getting a save. I mean, even if you don't have the ping Firewall and OSM have, you don't get the save there. It's just a general rule. You want to challenge dribbles and air dribbles early in 1v1.
Firewall in the corner. A heavy second touch from him. He almost wiped out OSM's car. Instead, it ends up just being a pass.
Oh.
And despite the scuffle on the way back, OSM will still score.
So Firewall has been coming out on top of most of these little bump plays, but check out that from OSM. Firewall bumped him up into the air, and then he used his dodge to send the ball on target. Just like Firewall a couple of games ago, not panicking when he's bumped up into the air, still playing the dodge perfectly. Firewall still dominating kickoffs every single time. It's going straight to him, and that one's going towards the top corner. OSM's just saved it.
OSM still playing well for the defense. Firewall delayed it. They both stared at each other. Now OSM has won the race for the kickoff. For the boost. Goes to the air himself. And Firewall, that's a rough angle. He had to make sure not only that he cleared it, but they managed to avoid OSM's car. So Firewall, I don't know what his boost situation is, but I doubt it's very good. 0 right now. OSM with 100. Over onto the wall. Flip reset secured. Firewall's going to have to try and
Nice! 146 kilometers an hour. Pulse OSM. I think is Pulse Fire playing right now, Shogun. That is a beauty. Point blank range. Laser by OSM.
Well, you've just seen the quickest goal you're going to see in competitive play. That was something else. You know what? Firewall. Oh, he's managed to just respond very quickly. I think Firewall could have actually put his car in front of that one. I think the ball would have gone through him. I think that would have been the first ever demo shot.
Yeah, the ball would have demoed him. I'm pretty sure you're right on that. What a goal by OSM. We're only in the second series of the day, and that might already be the best goal we see all day. We've got, some incredible mechanical players coming up later. We've got AJ, who's, definitely going to try and take that title away from OSM. But, oh, check out Firewall's defense. That's a great save.
All right, this is becoming a spectacle real quick here. OSM already back up. Firewall has to avoid him, and he's done exactly that.
My.
What a game, and we're only 2 minutes into it. Still remains at 3-2. Firewall wants to pick up the 100 instead. Baits OSM in. Now he's got OSM's back turned. Takes it over one more time. OSM wants to just launch it. We know he can score bangers, and you definitely know he can score from coast to coast.
Yeah, great accuracy by OSM. Firewall just letting that touch go off his card a bit too quickly. It's always a dangerous position to try and play the ball off the wall to yourself. You know, when you're in that position, when you're in Firewall's wheels there, you don't realize just how quickly OSM is going to get back to that one.
OSM now back over to the wall. Firewall, early challenge. It's all up to OSM. Will he win the PvE? Of course he will.
Yeah, an in-player versus environment. OSM's always going to be on top. I like Firewall diving in early there, to be honest. OSM's been far too good with the dissection. Every time that Firewall tries to back off and react to his, OSM's plays, he's had no chance. That's a general rule when you play against OSM. You want to pressure him because look at what he can do. This is just crazy. I mean, it just doesn't stop Shogun. A 6-2 and just a gorgeous flip reset play from OSM.
You want to switch predictions? Like,
I'm
willing. You know, I'm willing to give you Firewall, man. I'm nice like that. Halfway in, and OSM is on fire in this game. He is looking completely untouchable. It's up to Firewall here to figure out an answer. Or maybe just hope that the answer is that OSM will be at least a little bit calmer over the rest of this series. He's so confident at the moment. Turtle into the wall, carries it over the top of Firewall, steal the boost. And Firewall is able to take control eventually. Just perpetual motion from OSM, and you just can't keep track of him.
Yeah, it's madness. OSM is just still, he's right in the momentum from that floor pinch goal. And unfortunately for Firewall, whereas OSM has been popping off, unfortunately, his precision has dropped off a little bit. He missed a boost in the run-up to OSM's pinch goal on him earlier on. Had him in a world of trouble in the run-up to the goal and in the position where the goal was scored from. So it has been brilliance by OSM. He's been, absolutely playing at his highest level possible. Firewall needs to level up here. He needs to, do what OSM has done. A pop-off from him can always result in a comeback, but it's got to start soon.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing from Firewall will keep him competitive against most players. OSM right now is in world-class form, and even this is going to work. No, Firewall back down. There's a time and a place, and that's not it.
Yeah, of all the places to lock horns with the opponent, it's not when you're 5 goals down and just over a minute left in a game. That's probably a GG. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if he went for it, though, just for the memes, because this game looks like it might already be over. But, it's Firewall. He's not going to give up. He's down by 5. It's winnable. That's all he's thinking right now.
OSM wants to make it 6. That shot not enough on it to really test Firewall. These fakes aren't working. OSM has got the read on everything.
Yeah, it's been high-pressure play, OSM, all the time here. Firewall's struggling to keep up with it. That's some extremely creative approach work from Firewall, but OSM's all over him once again. He's even going for some crazy takeoffs. I mean, it looks ridiculous, but I bet you he plans that. He practices these kind of things all day, pre-flipping into a wall to try and bounce back off it into an air dribble. Yeah, just things you're going to see from OSM on any given weekday.
A reminder, we'll probably speak to him later on today, and he'll say, oh yeah, I wasn't playing that great. Just how Rocket League players are, man.
I mean, freestylers have got the highest, highest expectations when it comes to goals. They scored the nastiest goal ever, and then the first thing you're going to hear is, yeah, could have maybe had a few more spins in it, though, couldn't it? It probably could have, gone for an extra flip reset in there. There's always something better for a freestyle.
Well, there we are. 2-1 for OSM in one of the most dominant victories we have had. OSM looking a class above here in game number 3. As for Firewall, mention it. He's got to step up here. He's got to just... it's very easy. And hey, we're allowed to. You guys at home, you're allowed to. We're all allowed to just be in utter disbelief of what OSM pulled off this game. The only person in the world who's not allowed to is Firewall. He has to look at this and consider that, all right, that's the level. I've got to go into that level now, because if he just sits here and does what we're doing, this series is done.
Just looking at our broadcaster here muting the in-game. That's hilarious. I think you said to us right now he's trying to report not mute there. Thank you, production. Always throwing us the surprises here. But hey, this is just something else here. Oh, we've got the name change as well from OSM. He always hits us with a name change at one point here. He's gone with Waterfall154 for this game. What do you reckon? What do you reckon about that one, Shogun?
Waterfall154. He's gone for the type matchup over here. He's decided. Maybe it works. To be fair, right now he does just seem like he has got the style that can beat anybody. That's a Firewall. It is very much, partially on him, partially on OSM. What a read, though. Okay. Set himself up perfectly for the ball just to deflect straight into him in.
Yeah, great challenge by Firewall. That was a low boost position, but he's in the perfect position with low boost. I mean, out of all the places he could be, that was the one you exactly want to be in. Great start for Firewall. So far, that type matchup of yours not super effective in OSM's favor. We got a little glimpse of the future there, though, in the last game. If you just joined us, you're going to want to go and watch that incredible goal from OSM. I really do believe that those pinch shots off the ground will be something we see very often this year in high-level 1v1. Because it's just impossible. You can't defend those. And as players get better and better at them, you force the defender to come off the line, then you can just hit them with a standard ceiling shot. It's almost an unbeatable strat.
I like this idea, though, from Firewall. He's decided, all right, so far, I haven't been able to beat OSM. So I'm going to go for the BDS skin on my car, because whilst I'm on about him, BDS beat everyone in Europe. So if I go for this, then it just works by default.
That's very smart, actually. So far, it's working perfectly. What a flick by Firewall to go ahead by 3. And probably the most surprising thing is it's been constant pressure in Firewall's favor, like you said, since switching to the BDS decal. OSM thought he was going to be the one with the counterplay coming in as Waterfall154 to this game. Obviously, Firewall countering him with the BDS greater than every European in existence card. Nobody saw that one coming.
Yeah, you can take any type matchup you want, but BDS seems to be the cheat code. Firewall trying to find a way out. Now, must be so much happier with his position than it was earlier on. Looks himself around, waits for his chance, and it's going to be very difficult whenever I see a name like that, but it's still OSM. I'm not to mispronounce that. Poor first touch, though, from Firewall, and OSM couldn't take control of it.
Oh, wow. This is some really great movement by Firewall. And OSM's just went past the ball! Whoa, that is something we haven't seen all day. Huge mechanical misplay by OSM. He had tons of boost here, but he just flipped the wrong way. I have no explanation for that. That is just ridiculous.
Well, you ever want an example of why Rocket League is the most difficult game in the world to be consistent with? Show 2 clips to people of OSM here. One of his pinch goal and one of what you just saw, and say, yeah, that was within 5 minutes of each other. It's truly ridiculously hard. Well, there we go. For the flick. Didn't quite get the power he wants. And he has missed the boost as well. And now up to Firewall. Can he get back in time? Oh! That was close!
That's a great attempt by Firewall. OSM didn't place the shot as well as he could have. But still, for Firewall to almost save this with a pre-flip is pretty nasty. Good try. OSM still on the board, though. And there's still a long time to go in game number 4.
Oh yeah, but it should have been said earlier on, but actually I take back my offer to trade picks. I always felt really confident in Firewall. It's crazy that.
I feel like you might be a Fairweather fan. You might be on the bandwagon
I don't know what that means, so.
I'm sticking with OSM, I believe. He's not the tilt monster he used to be. Even though this is the most one-sided game that we've seen in Firewall's favor. I'd put that more down to Firewall stepping up and just playing a more aggressive game. a more consistent game. He's not missing boosts here. He's not missing his landings. He's not messing up wave dashes. You know, all those game 3 blunders are completely gone. And this is the Firewall that I expect to see for the rest of the series.
Trying to find a double tap off the own backboards. You're correct, though. He is trying to stay as close to this as possible. He's seen what OSM can do with time. Don't let him have any of it. Don't let him take that first touch to set up. First flick, he looks for the car. Not going to quite be able to get it, and now it's all up to the recovery. 0 boost for Firewall. He just can't get to it enough. Oh, the post! And OSM believed in it enough just to get there in time.
Yeah, what a
dearie me.
scramble. I mean, Firewall really has been so close to saving absolutely everything that OSM's thrown at him. Both the goals that OSM scored have bounced in off the post because Firewall's touch has been almost good enough. I mean, just a bit more to the left there and it's up the wall. It's not in front of the goal. Firewall, undeterred, puts in a 6th goal for himself. OSM continuing to struggle from the kickoffs.
Damn, it hasn't been this bad up until now. He's always been on the worst side of this. Firewall wasn't able to do too much with it up until here and now. 6-2, and that's a better recovery for Firewall. He managed to pick up the 100 boost. Still, OSM recovers just in time after the fact. And just over the top, that's going to cut the lead down to 3. Firewall was really adamant. He wanted to just ghost behind, take out OSM's car, and just missed it.
Yeah, this is the time now for OSM to step up the pace because last game he was playing a lot faster than Firewall to the tail end of it. He just rode the momentum from that ground pinch into the win. Now, can he start to do so here? He doesn't have, you know, a really sick goal to, you know, get him rolling. He does have 1 goal. He's in a winnable position here, but I think Firewall's past him. Not a scoreable angle.
Back to the corner. Firewall not wanting to back down at all, but has he given OSM his way through? Sets up, hook shots available. Not the best. It was just a little bit off. And Firewall will get away with it. Oh, and he fakes him out. That should be 4 goals to the better. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's huge. For a second there, I thought that OSM was going to catch this, but there was just enough power on it from Firewall. Huge mind game. Now, with this kickoffs being as strong as they have been, this should be in the bag. This should be another game 5 here. I mean, this event so far, the most scripted that we have seen. And you know, it's just continuing the same kind of spirit we had at the conclusion of the last event, Joyous versus Appjack. Now, with the world's most unnecessary flip reset, OSM back within 3 once again.
I'm kind of interested in sorting it. Not only that he went for the flip reset, but how good the flip set reset was. That was done with some authority at the end of it. I'd expect with Firewall's kickoffs that this should be done and dusted, but we've seen OSM, we know that he can ride the momentum. That kickoff, though, too strong. And as good as OSM can be, this needs sorting out, because if he's going to keep leaking goals like this,
yeah,
it's not ever going to be in your favor.
You know, there are, like I always say, there's a few other ones he could be going for. He's tried some delayed approaches, but he hasn't tried completely faking kickoffs very often. That's often a way that you can get the ball into the midfield. It's not the fake kickoff isn't something that often leads to immediately getting scored on. Both players, you know, will most of the time end up with boost. But yeah, OSM's he's been struggling. He doesn't have a solution yet, and he's not going to save this either. Firewall ahead by 5. Game 5 beckons.
Angle just wasn't nice to him at all. And yep, jump didn't catch him to the right spot. What a back and forth series we have had. And if this is any indicator of how the rest of our show is going to go, I am looking forward to it, especially with some of those matches we've got coming up. OSM, good flick from him. This is all about building up to potential game 5. But if we can't get something quick here, suddenly we're right back into the danger zone.
Yeah, I feel like OSM's just trying to get something going here. He's not been himself this game. You know, I think the first couple of games this series were extremely close. Then OSM just took over game 3. Firewall's completely taken over game 4. And, you know, this really bodes well for your prediction, because I think Firewall has a higher likelihood of finishing strong in this series. I've never seen Firewall finish badly in a match. He always fights till the very end. Now, OSM I have seen finish badly before, many times. I've seen him, have higher highs and lower lows pretty much. So this being somewhere in the middle, has to go in Firewall's favor.
Well, for those of you that have been joining us today, trying to see if you can get the perfect predictions, hasn't been easy for anyone so far. Right now, OSM and Firewall playing out an incredible series. And we're going to need one more game to separate them. OSM with the catch. It's going to be difficult to take this the whole way, and it is eventually dropped. But Firewall's not going to just let this one happen. Okay, maybe he is. There we go. Game 5 coming up.
Yeah, in true freestyler fashion, OSM wanted one more wall play, but he's not going to get it. And what he is going to have to go through is a Game 5 war against Firewall. And I think, I said I was still confident in OSM when it was 1-1 when Firewall came back. I'll be honest, I think Firewall has got to be the favorite here. OSM and Firewall have been incredibly close today, but given the history of Firewall's clutch factor, which is always on display at the tail end of every series he plays, this is where he wants to be. Game 5 versus OSM this is his home. This is where he belongs. OSM would have much rather had this over 3-0, 3-1.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna offer you something here, Johnny.
Okay.
Which, against my better judgment, I'm gonna offer you the chance to switch again. I'll take OSM if you want Firewall. I'm deal or no dealing here,
I will decline. I'm going to stay with OSM.
Right.
Yep, I'm admitting that I am in probably the wrong camp, but I'm going to stay there. OSM to win, even though I think Firewall is favorite in Game 5.
You know the strategy. You never, ever switch because you feel worse if you switch off the winner.
Exactly. At least, if nothing else, I'm consistently wrong. I've got a BDS decal again. No surprise there. Firewall.
I was half expecting OSM to bring in his own.
Yeah. I was maybe expecting OSM to be name changing back, because I mean the waterfall change it has not worked out at all. He's got a good start though. OSM wants the airwheel shot, but Firewall has beaten him to this. Again, solid defense by Firewall, and that is not a good shot by OSM. He's extremely all in for that one as well. Firewall completely in control of the next possession.
Oh, not the best first touch though. That opens up a challenge for OSM, who will be able to collect after the fact. Boost just pops up. Firewall, great timing from him. He seemed to know it. Got there just in time. Sets up for the flick. Not quite the power we've seen from OSM. And he's just popped it over the top. Will he be able to follow it? Doesn't need to. It's on target. And there's going to be the first goal for OSM.
And Firewall did not respect OSM's shooting angle there. Like I said earlier, it's one of those positions where you never realize just how fast your opponent's going to get back to that ball and how quickly they can get the shot off. So Firewall, for the second time this series, punished in that position. But overall this game, it hasn't looked all that clean for either player. And, OSM needs to try and keep it this way. Because if he lets Firewall get a foothold in this, that is where he's most dangerous.
We'll continue to look towards those kickoffs as well.
Oh, wow. That's a good old OSM classic there. Fake challenge into the reverse challenge. He's actually a player who, really popularized this a couple of years ago. You just hide behind the ball after your fake challenge and hit the reverse. Sometimes combined with a half flip, but not unless you're willing to go completely all in there.
Oh, both playing for territory and position. Firewall happy to trade off ball for boost. Is going to be made to regret that. Gets the jump just in time before OSM could wipe his car out. All that 100 boost was due just to get back. Now, looking for the other side of the field. OSM doing a good job of timing the territory. Here's a demo. Are they both got? No, it's
double!
Oh, that was close.
Oh, he was so close. He was on for it, but I think he kind of slowed down at the last second there. Firewall guessed correctly where OSM is going to spawn, but I think he just lost Supersonic before hitting him. It was really close, though. I mean, he was so close to getting the double demo, which would have 100% resulted in a goal.
All right, Johnny, you're the one that's casted, I'm willing to say, thousands of 1v1 series at this point. Has that happened before? Intentionally?
The double demo intentionally, yes. I think we actually saw that in AJ versus Kinsey a couple times. He double demo Kinsey in the main event for SMUG 5, but it's super rare because obviously in ones, it's a 50-50 where they're going to spawn. Obviously, Firewall had the advantage there, which is the ball is over in that corner anyway, so if OSM doesn't spawn there, at least he can take the ball for free. So it's actually a really safe play that the Firewall can go for. Very, very smart. Playing for the big win, and then the drawback, or if he doesn't get the big win, he still gets a small win. There's a demo for OSM though, and the shutout continues. A long time this one's been going.
You not expect two players like this to only have 2 goals scored after 3 minutes of gameplay, and you certainly won't expect Firewall to have not scored anything. 2 minutes left, 2 goals is the difference. And OSM just tightening his grip on this series. Firewall finally has a bit of possession. That bounce doesn't quite help out. He takes to the air. Limited success from this position so far in the series. Forced to drop back down.
Oh, wow.
That wall bounce. OSM's been loving that so far.
Yeah, Firewall's had to commit to a lot of aerial clears just in case OSM's in the air to attack the ball. He's pretty much been in the air to attack every ball this series, but OSM in Game 5 has been playing so safe. But because Firewall's been conditioned to expect otherwise, he's having to waste a lot of possession just to avoid getting scored on in these aerial positions. OSM, though, on the ground, extremely solid. He's finding ways to prevent Firewall from getting shots set up, far less scored.
Over to the wall, 100 boost there for OSM. Wait for his chance, puts it off the backboard. Firewall came forward, can he find the angle? Double tap off the crossbar, off the post, but not in the net. That's for Firewall, he's got limited boost and he's got to get this to work, he hasn't though. OSM recovers, over to the wall yet again. 45 seconds, the shutout is still on. OSM, flip reset underneath Firewall, 3-0.
Just beautiful from OSM. He stepped up in the last game and played incredibly consistently. He saw the wall position of Firewall, shoots low to counter him, and that is a 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead which looks incredibly comfortable because OSM has been shutting down all of Firewall's offense in this game. Can Firewall come back once again?
It's not the first touch though. He keeps dropping it straight over to OSM. And that is going to bounce right in front of the goal. Will OSM get there in time? No, not quite. Just too fast for him. Firewall needs this, and then he's got to get the kickoff game going. Right now, one of the strongest finishers in Rocket League 1s is being dismantled and dominated in Game 5.
Yeah, you can see the frustration really kicking in here towards the end of the game. Firewall so desperate to get his offense rolling that he's just lunging in and flying past the ball. He just hasn't been able to get it going fast enough. Now, even with his incredible history of comebacks, surely this is too tall of an order.
This is going to have to be a kickoff bonanza from Firewall. OSM. Oh, there we go. Fake.
Oh, you wanted it.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to go for something. He figured that I'm not going to get 3 the standard kickoff goals in a row. Went for some kind of wave dash approach and just flopped it, but yeah, that's just going to be game either way. I think Firewall just probably looked at the clock and thought to himself, I don't know if I can do this. Even with his incredible resilience.
That means we get OSM free start.
That's a respect. That is so respectful by OSM. Giving Firewall 1 extra goal, making this look a bit better. It's been a great series between these two. But yeah, Firewall, I think, just going to hand OSM the win here in the closing few seconds. It's been deserved. OSM playing a far more solid Game 5.
Yeah, that is going to secure it. Johnny, be very glad. Imagine the world where you hand me OSM
exactly
before this one. Either way, that is a mature Game 5 performance there from OSM. We saw how crazy he can be. We saw how quick and mechanical he can be. That Game 5, wouldn't describe it as that. That was making sure he wasn't doing anything silly, not giving anything up for free, and taking the chances that he was presented. OSM showing us multiple sides to his gameplay.
Yeah, very impressive stuff by OSM at the end of this one. Switching it up, not attacking with such carelessness in the air, and you can see Firewall just didn't see it coming. He had to keep on flying up in defensive positions to block shots that might be happening, but they weren't happening. OSM was just waiting in the midfield for the ball to come to him. Played very well to close this one out with a huge playstyle switch up. But my goodness, we are just getting treated with all game 5s today. Coming up after the break, we may have another one. You're not going to want to miss it. It's Kronovi versus Gengar.